relationships. Now, it can be any form of relationship, whether you're married, whether you're dating, whether you are dating someone secretly and they don't know, they're in your head. You know that they're your boyfriend and they're your girlfriend, but they have absolutely no idea whether you're stalking them. We're here to talk about that. And joining me is an amazing panel. One of them is Esther Hadassa. She's an evangelist, a preacher, and ni mtu wa kuwekelea watu mikono. Lakini one thing I like about her, akona kelele mingi, and that's the kind of energy I need here with me today. And then I have someone else who's also very energetic. The first time I met him, we were emceeing an event at Safari Park Hotel. He goes by the name of Mbuvi. How are you doing, sir?
Pleasure, many namesake.
Hey, manzi. You know how many times I've gotten gigs that I'm supposed to be getting?
Pay me now.
You have to forget about that. Then we have Grace Kariuki, who's a counseling psychologist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nitakulipa hiyo pesa usijali. Nitakuhesabia tu nikwambia how many gigs, because I'm usually called. Niaje Mbuvi? Sasa nataka kuja hapa hivi ufanyie harusi, alafu utaniambia ngoma yako kwa hata akawaya. Kwa na wanaenda ni sawa usijali nitakuimbia.
Sasa vile umekoda unawaambianga nini? So mimi bado niko pale
naambianga I'm on a diet. Thank you very much for coming, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Today we are here to talk about marrying the wrong person, or almost marrying the wrong person. I know you're definitely not married, but I've been married before, divorced. You've been there, done that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with you. How is marriage life?
Marriage life. Oh my God. Why have you asked me such a difficult question?
It's not a difficult question. I can talk about marriage because I was there for like 10 days.
Oh.
At least. I was there for like, okay, to be honest, you know, it was 10 days, but after that, we really struggled before we called it quits. So,
Yeah.
but officially, before things went south, at least for me, it was 10 days of a happy marriage.
Yeah.
After that,
Oh my
yeah. So for you, how is marriage? Because me, I can hardly remember how marriage life is.
I want to say that it can be, sorry to start the statement with, it can be tough. But you see, you can only express what is real.
Right.
Yeah, you understand? As much as it's supposed to be a very glorious thing, I think for me it was glorious, because the people who know my story out there know that I was separated, and I'm still separated.
Okay.
And even when we thought we had reconciled, things still crumbled.
Okay.
And it's sad that things can get that way when you come together with a person and you know very well that
This is the person I'm
this
spending
is
the
going
rest
to
of my
work.
life with.
And you walk down that aisle so confidently, feeling like, "Mwe, mumeniona? Did you see me?"
You must have been a super beautiful bride.
I was, and thank
You and
you.
Yoka height,
Bas,
walking like a model.
kabisa. Lakini sasa, vitu zika, there was a shake-up.
Okay.
And I want to say this with all boldness, because some people feel very embarrassed to talk about things that would happen in their marriages.
Right.
But I don't think there's any shame, because none of us is exempt from struggle.
Right.
None of us.
Okay.
And you cannot choose the struggle that will come into your life.
Okay.
The struggle that comes into your life, hata job hakuchagua. You know job?
Yali jipata tu na maboys, watu wakakufa.
Basi.
Yeah.
So because I couldn't choose what struggle I'll go through in my life, I handle it in stride. That's why I'm still alive. I'm strong. I keep going. I know there is a better day.
All right.
I like
Just
that.
pause on that. Pause on that. Let's get to Mr. Namesake here.
Yes, sir.
Mbubi, kase. Obviously, you're not married, but you have been to a point where you've met someone and you knew for sure,
It's happening.
this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
Why are you not with that person?
It happens. What happens is you can meet somebody who's great. You're both great, actually. And then somewhere along the line, you realize, yes, you're great, but not necessarily great for each other. You get? So it doesn't mean the person is bad.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you're bad. But it's not for you. You know, with life, as you go on with life, life reveals a lot more about who you are.
Yes.
Okay.
So at the point that you met, life was showing that you guys have this great bond.
Chemistry.
Right.
But yes, chemistry, thank you. But as life went on, you realize life reveals more about you and about them that probably now puts you apart. Then you realize maybe God brought us here for a certain purpose that really worked.
Right.
But it's not this. When God bonds you, at times your own chemistry catches up with you. Like, hey, she's fly. Eh? This guy's cool. Let's date. But maybe you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
So you probably jump the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Where? Grace.
Yes.
There's something they've both mentioned.
Right.
Yeah. She said the way she knew this was the one.
Yes.
he has also said the same thing. He knew she was the one.
Right.
But for both of, actually for three of us, we are not together with the people that we thought we would be with.
Yes.
Where's the problem?
Thank you for having me on the show,
Kariuki.
and I love the energy, you know. So I want to say it starts with values. And if you don't share the same values, no matter how much chemistry you have, no matter how much you look like, you have the 80-20. We all know about the 80-20. You get the 80% of what you want, and the 20% is what you have to deal and tolerate.
Okay.
Now, if the 20% you have to deal and tolerate has something to do with fundamental values, which are important to you, things like financial fidelity, the person is financially doing infidelity financially. Things like adultery or fornication, depending on where you are in the relationship. Things like lying, you know, you are not truthful, you are not accountable, you are not open. Those kinds of things. If that is the 20% you have to deal with, please, you know, rethink it. Because that's who you are. That's the core of you. Now, if the person who is going to come into your life is going to break down your core and they are not helping you to grow and to become and to feel safe, why do we go into relationships? For companionship. What does companionship offer us? It offers us that connection as humans, the way we were created. It is not good for man to be alone, or the need that we have to connect deeply with another person. Now, that intimacy, if I am not going to get that from you, then I will always be fighting for it, looking for it. And eventually, I'm going to wear you down, and you're going to wear me down. And what will happen if our fundamental values are not the same? So, for instance, I believe in monogamy no matter what. So, ntavumilia. But if my partner is not going, because when there is coldness in the relationship, you can feel it, both of you.
That's right.
And somebody decides they have an opportunity to go out and find it. So in that moment when you walk away from me and you go to another person, what have you just done? You've broken the most sacred thing that holds us together, which is trust, which is accountability, which is that companionship that I was looking for. The other thing is support. So I am looking for you to support me even when I don't make sense to you. If you cannot do that. So these are the fundamental things that I'm saying are the things we need in a relationship.
All right. Let's just put a pause on that. Come back to you. There's a reason why you guys are not together. Are you the one who walked away, or is he the one who walked away?
Okay, in my current situation, he walked away.
Okay.
He walked away. And he has his reasons as to why he did. And we have not actually formalized anything and said officially we are separated or we are done or, you know, it's over and now we are burying this thing. No, we haven't done that.
Okay.
But the marriage has gone through cycles of so much beating. Do you understand? That it has left me in the place of, what next? You understand? What do I do about this?
So
because
do you understand the reasons why he
Yes.
left? Did he tell you the reasons are A, B, C, D, and you were like, okay, they actually do make sense? Sometimes you were like, what nonsense. Because sometimes someone can say the reason why I'm walking away is because you're tall, and you're like, what? But you met me when I was tall.
Yes.
The reason why I walked away is that you're jobless. But you met me when I was jobless.
I'll tell you, I've actually had 2 instances of walkaways. The first time was after just a year into marriage. I left, and I'll be very honest about it. I left.
So you left first?
Because I was like, no, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. It's just not working.
Okay.
Second time is after we reconciled. This is after 3 years of separation. We separated 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, and we have a little boy. And
Esther.
yes.
When will they carry on?
Yeah. Anyway, so that happened, and 3 years later, which is just last year, we reconciled.
Came back together?
Publicly. Yes, and we thought, yes, we are going to make this work now.
Okay.
It's going to work, come what may, nini tutaitengeneza. And we even called people like counselors. We had a counselor supporting us in the work. We had our spiritual authority, our spiritual fathers,
Pastor,
yes, working with us in the journey. But let me tell you something. She said a very important thing. The values that are holding you people together, if they have been affected, let me tell you, then there'll have to be a shake-up, to be a make-up.
All right.
Yeah. So it's like how can I put it? The things that you've come with into the marriage that stem out of your foundation, the things that you were born into, and the things that I was born into. Now, if those things still are holding on me, or they have a hold on me, and they are not aligning to, we're not aligning now, because of your beliefs, my beliefs, your values, my values, they are not aligning. So tunapitana. So there's nothing like you will agree to disagree in this case, because those values are not aligned. This one believes, it's like, for example, today, if you married somebody like a Buddhist, you'd have to align to the Buddhism, right? They would not understand why you are Christian. So one of you would have to back down completely and say, okay, fine, I'll accept to be Buddhist, but not happily. Just single-handed. So you're going to compromise your values or what you are born into in your family just because of this person. So I'm saying that there are so many things that can affect you. We can't mention all of them, but there are things that sometimes you go through and you're like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. And maybe it's what Movie said, maybe you came together for a certain reason.
And it worked, and now
it worked, and then maybe now your purpose is not, because I believe we come together in marriage for purpose as well. It's not just love, but purpose. So if your purpose and mine aligns, then I can be able, Grace said that you support each other. I can be able to support his purpose and he supports mine without any competition and any conflict.
I want to get a word out of Mbuvi in regards to the same question I asked. Are you the one who walked away, or she walked away?
We actually got to a place where we agreed. Yes. Not just by ourselves. We had, we met a prophet, we met a pastor, we met quite a number of people. And so, hey, what's up?
Like you had a conference, ama mkasema, okay, tuende kwa prophet kwanza?
No, mtu mmoja kwanza.
Mkienda kwa pastor, akamaliza.
Mwingine, we were like, mwingine. Because in a sense, by then, it was really, it was a really a big thing. Everybody knew. Okay. So, and churches knew because we used to do ministry together. Right. So we had to do it just the right way. Because you might be missing out, and you might be missing out on something great, and you're not seeing.
But these people were not there when you met.
They weren't there. Yeah. But
when you decided that, you know what, let's date, let's court and see where this goes. Those people were not there. So when it came for the time for going separate ways, or deciding whether you're going to go separate ways or still stick, why did you feel like they were necessary?
They're necessary because even in life, you need mentors. You need people who can speak into your life on certain circumstances.
That's right.
Especially spiritual.
That's right.
And most of us were spiritual, father, mother, something like that. So you want to lay everything on the table and say, hey, this doesn't seem to be working. Because all of them they had seen us and seen this is a great thing. It's happening. All right. So you come and say, hey, no, iko hivi. So tunaeka apart. Then I think we were told, take about 6 months, see how it goes.
That was a verdict from each of these individuals that you saw?
The one that really stuck with me and that I really loved said, take 6 months, don't rush into anything, because it will be a recall, it will be a rebound. And then if it's not happening, then move on. Yeah.
So after meeting all these individuals, all these mentors and counselors, once they spoke to you, you actually saw that they were making sense.
They made a lot of sense.
And you guys agreed with your girlfriend, okay, you know what, babe, let's do this.
Yeah. There's something she said about the 80-20. Yeah. Because, like I said, it's a great person. So let's assume by figures, there's 80. Right. You get, and there's 20 that wasn't making me happy. Mukimaliza hapo, before thinking how much time, you'll jump to somebody who has 20.
True. Exactly.
Because you're not, because the 80 that you have in this other person, you're not seeing it as if it's something because you already have it. Okay. So Kariuki, you're looking for the 20 that you then have. So it's good to take that time and realize, hey, wait a minute. Let me go back to what are the values that I have that I can't compromise on. There's something I don't believe in. I don't believe in better half, at half make one. No, I believe in whole make whole. Love language ya God wanga mathematics. It's 1 times 1 is equals to 1. It's not half plus half is equals to 1. That means then once you detach, even when you're dating, you immediately need to attach with somebody else. No, it means God made you complete, then get you somebody to complement you. So if it's not who you, take time in God so that He brings you again. She said something about purpose. Purpose is key, but that purpose is authored by the author of your life.
That's right.
So at times we think we understand our own purpose. Like I look at it, let's say I'm like about 32. You get? Right. If you ask me how well I know myself, I'll tell you I know myself 80%, 90%. And it's not true because I don't know my whole lifespan. It could be 100, 120. So I actually know myself less than half. So I need God so that He can help me get who I can actually spend the rest of the time I don't understand myself.
You're a marriage counselor, both.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
That's right.
It's funny.
I was told.
It's funny uliachwa na hii wisdom yote.
Wisdom inakuja pole pole.
Inakam.
Yeah,
And
actually,
yeah.
it comes out of the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how wonderfully wisdom comes. Yeah?
Right.
Out of the situation you're in, God is going to deposit so much in you
Yeah.
that now you'll be able to pour out to other people.
other people,
There's
yeah.
no way you'll sit in this position and answer questions confidently if God has not been pouring wisdom into your life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I want to get. We'll still come back to you, Mbuvi. What I want to get out of Councillor Grace.
Yes.
Grace, they've mentioned important things. Seeing all these people trying to get
Yeah.
wisdom from, because we obviously don't own all the wisdom in the world.
Right, yeah.
But how important is it, especially in this situation, like in any
Yes.
situation, how important is it to come and see you and tell you know what, I think I'm having problems with my wife, Esther here, and I need your help?
Because again, when we are in the situation, remember we are flooded with the emotions.
Right.
Because marriage is emotional. That's one of the things we don't understand. That's why people are looking for emotional connections outside of their marriage, because the emotional intimacy isn't happening. So for them to try to figure out their issues by themselves, they are not, because I am personally aggrieved and she is personally aggrieved.
Right.
So nobody is taking care of my client is not them. My client is their relationship. So
Right.
when they come into my presence, then I'm sitting there and I'm saying, I'm not here to decide who is right and who is wrong. I'm here to decide what is it that you guys are doing that is causing the most important person in your life to hurt. And that is your relationship.
Right.
Because if you are not in relationships, you wouldn't be together. If this relationship wasn't important to you in whatever levels, because socially it's important, family-wise it's important, you know, status-wise it's important, your own identity that now I'm Baba so-and-so,
Right.
and now I am the husband to so-and-so, or the wife to so-and-so, all that. So that is why people stay and they try. So we go to family and we tell them, you know, these are the problems we are having, and we list them. Wazee wanaangalia, what do they usually look for? They are looking for the person who is wrong.
That's
And where you need to fix things so that this relationship can be okay. And truth be told, who is going to be told to change? Yes, Mbuvi. Unafikiria nani ataambiwa kwa hiyo meeting ya wazee?
Ni wewe
It's the
mwenyewe.
lady.
Yeah.
Because
Is it the lady?
Yes.
mwanamke ni kuvumilia.
That's what they say.
No.
That's true.
In this day and age,
That's
2019,
right. That's right.
That's what I
the
hear.
20th day of
So by the time,
That's right.
they are coming
Yeah.
to counseling, and that is them. They have decided, or maybe somebody in their circle has finally got a light bulb and say, you know what, let's try professional counseling. When they come now to us, that's when I'm beginning to say, so tell me, because if you didn't want to be together, you wouldn't be here, regardless of who told you to come here. So tell me the strengths of your relationship. So when we start there, we begin now to stay away from all this, oh, he did, she did, he doesn't, she doesn't, and we come to what in the first place brought us together. And then I do take the whole history. Tell me about your dating and your courtship, what happened.
Where you
Some
met.
of the issues they tell me in this relationship are very fundamental.
Daktari, we'll get to that. Because I want us to look at also how people come together before we decide this marriage is going to work or it's not going to work. Esther, I'll get back to you. Breathe in. For you, what do you think? Why? What is the reason? Like, is it you? Because she said, Shida, at the end of the day, we point at the woman and say, Vumilia, take care of your husband, do this and this, submit, nini. Do you think that you might have been the problem?
Well,
Were you told you were the problem?
Well, I would say this, It takes, Grace has spoken about it because she has said it professionally, that the blame normally is thrown onto the woman. So that does not make it justifiable. And it does not make it a fact. It does not make it truth. You understand? So it could be that's what people want to think, but that's not necessarily the basis. By the time, like she said, mwanamke kuvumilia, by the time unatoka kwa nyumba yako, wewe mwenyewe, as a lady, na pengine uko na watoto. Believe you me, somebody decides to give you an ear and listen keenly to what the genesis this was about. Because if they don't, if they don't listen, then it means what they're doing is just allowing you to go back there with depression, anger, bitterness, and at one point or the other, these things will all erupt like a volcano. So you asked me a question and said, was I the problem? I don't think so, because I don't want to divulge a lot of the things that have happened in my marriage right now at this stage, but I shall at the right time, you understand? The God-given opportunity. But for now, I would say, when core values are broken, and the person does not see things from the same page as you do. Like if you talk, you sit down and talk and say, this is what is affecting me. But imagine somebody doesn't see it. If I tell you you're hurting me and you don't see that you're actually hurting me, then you will continue to hurt me. You understand? If I tell you what you're doing to me is really breaking my heart, and because you cannot see my heart, it's not visible. You just imagine she can be able to take it. But let me tell you, there are people who've got bronze hearts and there are people who've got egg hearts. I have an egg heart. Easily breakable. So ukishavunja, sijui ukivunja mayai kama unaweza ishika tena, you cannot put it back together. Yeah, but a person with a bronze heart, if bronze split into two today, it's easy to bring it back together. So you cannot tell the level of tenacity or the level of endurance somebody has, although even that's what we are called to do, endure, persevere. But let me tell you, would you rather persevere to the grave? Emotional abuse is as bad as physical abuse. So it's even worse.
Right.
So if you're abusing me emotionally because I keep on telling you that this is destroying me, and you're not doing anything movie as my spouse, then I am likely to become a cabbage, crumble and become empty. No feelings, no expressions, I'm just there. Then it gets to the point where you now wash your hands and say, you know what, I'm done. Right. You know, there are times you say, well, we can work it out. We try. We go to counselors. We go to grace. We talk to pastors. But then there's a point where you say, give me a jug. I want to wash my hands off this situation. Because hampatani. Hata nikikuzungumzia, you are not seeing me from the point where I'm coming from. All you're seeing is somebody who... you're nagging me too much. So let me tell you, let's not be so quick to judge people in marital situations. This shoe is kind of tight. But I am the only one in this room that can tell you that it is tight at this particular point. So our parents have to be careful. Our guardians have to be careful. Our spiritual authorities have to be careful not to force people to go into a place where they will end up dead. You don't have to die physically. You can also die emotionally and mentally. It's bad.
Pause. Where? www.letemajibaria.com. Movie. Yes. She has mentioned something. She's very obviously bitter about her situation and she's very emotional about it. What about you? Did you get to a point whereby by the time you're deciding to call it quits with your partner, just how difficult was it? It was like, I saw this coming, you know what? Something heavy is off my shoulders.
I kind of saw it coming. Because I believe these are dangerous. I don't like talking. Things can be put two and two together. Right. But I put it this way. There's something she said. In a relationship, I think my part is to bring out the best in you. If I bring out the best in you, it actually prospers me. Okay. And I will do my best to bring out the best in you. And if I see the best in me is also not coming out, I'll be like, okay, maybe I'm not the one supposed to. You get? Yeah. So that will make me maybe feel like I need to move away from this. So I think there's that to consider.
Was it difficult though to make that decision, to come to that conclusion that?
It was difficult in the sense that there are people's feelings and emotions.
Because this is someone you're used to calling every day, telling them that you love them, them telling you the same thing back. And now you realize once this is over, chances are she will start telling someone else.
Yes, but I also want to come from this perspective of and go against the grain of what she says happens in the society. That happens, but my point is, somebody told me, and just the other day, and I realized a lot of sense to it, that in a relationship, for it to fall apart, it takes two.
The same way it took two to bring together.
Yes.
Hold that thought. Want us to take a short break? Tweet, because I'm reading the tweets from Sika